Not the scoreboard pressure, so Pakistan can afford to take a little bit of time, assess the conditions, see if there's any swing. And these two, as we know, they generally score average around 55 and 45 with the bat. If they do that tonight, the game's over.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see this new ball with Bolt and Southey, because two excellent exponents of swing bowling. I get the feeling, I've heard it mentioned a lot, that sometimes it's too cold to swing. And it's rather chilly tonight, Bondi, so they might struggle.
Yeah, there may be a little bit of dew, and Kimberly said there might be a little bit of liquid on the ground, so if the ball gets wet, that's going to make that swing factor very difficult as well. If the wicket has sped up a little bit and there's still some seam movement with the new ball, then there may be an opportunity, maybe not in the air, but off the wicket.
Look at that average, good strike rate of 130, 200s. Mohammad Rizwan, 6 scores of 50 plus. His last 8 T20 innings. New Zealand needed early wickets. Man of the match performance last night from this man. Look at the average, above 50. That is quite phenomenal. Outstanding.
That's an insane record. I mean, when you look at Baba Azam averaging 44, unbelievable, and yet this man's 10 runs more.
New Zealand with a slip and play, which is no surprise when you've got Trent Boult with new ball in hand. Third is up on the edge of the circle. 2 men back at fine leg and deep backward square as the 2 boundary fielders for Trent Boult. That's a pretty good record as well. Average of 22. He's going to need to be at his best here for New Zealand tonight as they try and defend this total. Oh, a little bit of movement. That's encouraging.
Yeah, that's that seam that I was talking about. The reason why for New Zealand, fine leg, square leg, Rizwan scores a bulk of his runs on the leg side. So generally with him, you're looking at either a square leg mid-wicket or a square leg, fine leg. That'll enable Boult to bowl straight. And if there's any movement, the opportunity to beat that inside edge, pick up an LBW bowled.
Fuller. Oh, he got a wee finger to it. Baba Azam reaching, diving to get back into his ground. Worst dismissal. Getting run out at the non-striker's end. Got a finger on it. Oh, it was close.
With the current ruling around the Maggie, you wouldn't expect any batsman should get run out like that now.
Right, let's not go there. It's too early for that. We'll leave that one alone. Nicely played. Finds mid-off. The other thing that impressed me, Bondi, with the way the Pakistan bowled, not only their quick bowlers but their spinners, was their control of length. They weren't too short, they weren't too full, so it made New Zealand have to try and hit them off a hard length, and that created problems.
Yeah, they talk about batting in partnerships, but Pakistan did the same. Shadab was clearly their most dangerous through the middle. He got no wickets, but he just bowled patiently, went for 21 runs, and it created opportunities for the spinners around him to pick up wickets. So he just did his job. They bowled brilliantly as a unit, restricting New Zealand to just 147.
Good start by Trent Boult here.
Slip in place. Mid-off is very wide, so they were encouraging Rizwan to play down the ground through the offside with the slip. Again, if with third man up, there's a little bit of encouragement to open the face, which brings in that chance for a nick. So even though it looks defensive, there are still attacking options in play. And the slip's now moved out to cover. Sodi's come finer at third man, but the mid-off is still very wide.
Oh, it's Fuller. Good piece of fielding. Michael Bracewell mid-wicket. Slip is quite often one of those positions that debated in T20 cricket. A lot of people think it's a waste of time. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it doesn't go there very often. I don't mind a sort of a third, fourth slip. Sort of a run-saving position, the sort of position where Kane Williamson looks to run the ball down. It sort of blocks that easy single, encourages the batsman to perhaps look a bit finer. But clearly Boult feels there's no swing, there's not a lot of sideways movement, and he's happy just to block up that offside and perhaps still looking for the LBW bowled and doesn't feel like a Nixon play.
That's width. Finds the fielder. Trent Boult starts with the maiden for New Zealand. 1 over gone. Tim Southey, the other half of the swing twins. Trent Boult started with a maiden, now Tim Southey, very good T20 bowler. Good average, 1-5 wicket bag, 5 for 18, not bad economy either. New Zealand need early wickets. Slip and play for Southey. It's an interesting one too, Bondi, because it's a total that you feel that you should chase down. It's not a big target. So from a batting point of view also, how do you play? How do you start? You've still got to show that intent that you're going to go after the bowling. You can't just think that you're going to ease into it and chase down comfortably.
Yeah, well, the classic was Rizwan missing out off that last ball of Boult. He gets a full wide one that he cuts. And sometimes if you're not looking for that and you're looking to see a bowler off, you miss out on balls you should score on. So I think they can give themselves 2 overs, but you've got to be looking to cash in.
Wide down the leg side. First one in the innings for New Zealand. Lucky enough to have Glenn Phillips on the mic. Evening, Glenn.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Macca and Bondi upstairs. Tell us through the talk at the half time in terms of that total, probably a little bit short.
Yeah, I think par here is about 170 normally, but the way the pitch is playing, it's almost that low skiddiness. You know, we struggled a little bit to their spin, mainly because of that, where they were going into the pitch and it was actually skidding on nice and low. So
a little bit of swing from Southey. Yeah, it was a quality bowling performance from Pakistan. They controlled the length really well.
Yeah, I agree. And I know, like, we tried to get them off their line and length a little bit. You know, I saw Kane moving around nicely, Devon coming down every now and again. It was good, but obviously they adjusted really well. And at the end of the innings as well, those slow balls really held into the wicket quite nicely, which was a little bit of our downfall. But I think hitting that hard length where it's skidding top of the stumps is actually quite tough. Especially with these two who like to get going and give themselves a little bit of time. I think if we can put some pressure on them, get them a little bit behind the 8 ball, I think, as we should at the end of the innings, it's not exactly easy to score. Lovely to meet.
GP Bondi here, mate. Anything specific for these two? We know how important of players they are. Any specific plans to get rid of these guys?
I definitely think for Rizwan, we got to hit him on that knee roll. He's really good at that little sweepy pull thing that gets us quite behind square a lot. And obviously typical of a subcontinent player, and he does it really well. So I think for us, trying to get him hitting down the ground as much as possible. And I think Bubba, it's more probably that cock-high length, trying to be able to, I guess, hit his back hip so that he doesn't be able to free his arms as much as possible.
And that's a good hard length from Tim Southey. Mark Chapman in quickly.
Lovely chap.
Mark Chapman was good with the bat today, GP. He was really the only Kiwi that found the middle of his bat and found some timing.
Yeah, he had a really good matchup with Nawaz, and the rest of us struggled a little bit with him, but with Chappie's fast hands, it really made an absolute difference. Big side or not, he decided to take him on. That was the game plan. We talk about matchups a lot in the change room, and we had our game plan going, our batting blueprint to be able to have that sort of wickets in hand and start our death phase when he was in. And he absolutely nailed it.
Short ball. It's a wide. Not quite right from Tim Southey. A touch too short. I get the feeling tonight, GP, you're going to be busy in the field. You're going to show that enthusiasm and that energy, and it's going to be important.
Yeah, I've got a lot of real estate out there. I might have to do some lawn mowing, you know. I'll try to get maybe that belly slide out today. You never know, Macca. You saw it once, I might get it out again.
Is there any dew out there at the moment to help with the slide?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
It's going to be like a seal on ice.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Edge down to third, wide of the slip. Work for Sodi, can't get across. Can't get across the first boundary for Pakistan. It's a streaky one, but it counts.
Yeah, it's a lovely bit of bowling from Southie. Just a little bit of shape away. Dakhe, we were talking about that first slip. And that's again in that 4-slip region. When you got the first slip in place and the third man a bit wider, it races away on this fast and slightly damp Hagley outfield.
I've got to say, a good piece of bowling. You've got to be okay with that. Disappointing that third couldn't get across. But it's a good hard length. It's a hard length to drive. Not a bad piece of bowling at all from Southie. Nicely played. It's got a lot of time. As Babar Azam. Their Tikna in the New Zealand side tonight. Second over done. Pakistan 9 without loss. Target 148 for Pakistan. 9 without loss after 2 overs. World-class opening partnership. Mohammad Rizwan. Babar Azam against the world-class opening bowling pair of Trent Boult and Tim Southie. Changes in the field. Deep squealies come up inside the circle. Now we've got a very orthodox field with fine leg and third back on the boundary. Nicely played, misfield at mid-wicket. They'll come back for 2 on that misfield.
Yeah, Boult specifically put that mid-wicket in play for Babar Azam, who's strong on both sides of the wicket. So a wide, fine leg. And we saw Bubba score a couple of singles off Southie. Boult plugged the area, but unfortunately the fielding wasn't quite there.
Get that shoelace tied up quickly, Tim Southie. That's 4. Finds the gap, a little bit of width to Babar Azam. He's so strong. There's no swing from Trent Boult, so he's got to tighten that line up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the quality of Babar Azam. You give him any width, any length, any loose delivery, he puts it away. He's a class player, and that's a ball you can't bowl in this format.
It's not a lot of width, but it's just the angle of the left arm across the right-hander. He's able to get his hands through the shot, pick the gap, pick up a boundary. And again, that's even better. That is classical. That is Babar Azam at his best. Back-to-back boundaries for Pakistan.
Yeah, Bolt's looking for some swing, but this one's a genuine half volley. And again, the placement of a great player is perfect. That's 4 more.
I wonder if coming around the wicket might be an option now, Shane. There is no swing there. Trent Boult should know that by now. Has to tighten things up. And a suggestion from his skipper. Goes short. Picked away. 2 men back there in the deep. It's Finn Allen. With the strong arm.
Yeah, and I like the use of the short ball. It's a big boundary. You make the Pakistani batsman think about the length you're going to bowl, and it's always difficult as a batsman if you know that the ball of once and over is going to come head height using that bouncer. Boult really just got to adjust the line attack off stump. It doesn't swing, that it just holds the line through the channel. If it nips, then you bring the stumps in play.
It's good running. It's good running. Oh, good release from Williamson. Got in quick. There's always a chance. The run out at mid-off, I quite often like having your best fielder there. Someone who can attack the ball, pick it up in one hand. Let's have a look and see how close. Williamson did pretty well. Look at that quick sidearm release, good dive. That's desperation, a good dive got him in.
It's the conundrum in T20. Often have the best players in other formats at point. But the mid-on and mid-off are the hot zones in T20.
Short. Beautifully played, just leant back and eased it down to third for 4. Good over for Pakistan, 16 from it. They're racing away, 25 without loss.
Comfortable start for Pakistan, just a little bit of width. Making New Zealand pay 25, 3 overs. Once again, this pair are off to a start.
Well, there's some idiots in the crowd tonight here in Christchurch. There's another one on the ground, which is holding up play. Just a slight hold up as we've got another idiot from the crowd. He's decided to jump the boundary fence. That is quality from Babar Azam. Just got tied up. He just leaned back to get a little bit more room. Eased the ball up and over the two fielders that were inside the circle. That is exquisite. Blair Tickner, who has been added to this New Zealand squad for this tri-series, finds himself in the action in New Zealand's first game. So Adam Milne and Lockie Ferguson playing tonight, which Shane Bonner's a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, this is a big week, I think, for Blair Tickner. Lockie Ferguson may have a slight strain. Adam Milne, he hasn't played a game for a long time, so it's an opportunity to perhaps add a player for the World Cup squad. He's likely to be a fast bowler in this man, so a big week for Blair Tickner.
Oh, he's one of those bowlers that hits the deck hard, doesn't do a lot with the ball, but it's one of those wholehearted tries that you enjoy having in your side.
Yeah, he's a big man. He starts with the cross seam, so he recognises already that there's no swing out there. He's not a swing bowler anyway. Bowls an off-cutter as a change-up, but he will hit the deck hard and he will run in and attack the crease.
And bounce will be his friend on the surface. That's pulled away. Protection back there. Mark Chapman, who was very good with the bat. New Zealand have to be really good in the field. That is one area that they can outperform Pakistan, is the fielding stakes.
Yeah, they've got a good fielding unit. Obviously, someone like Glenn Phillips, who's ultra fast around the boundary, he's a key member of that fielding team. The depth on the boundary is key as well. They can't allow Pakistan to run. These two both run well. So we see the deep backward square leggers right on the rope. Probably want to bring them 5 or 6 off that boundary.
Nicely bowled from Tickner, full and straight. Yeah, it's the advantage that New Zealand have of playing a number of games on this ground, both internationally and domestically. They know the angles, they know where they have to be if they are on that boundary to stop the two.
Yeah, and the good thing, you look at the World Cup coming up, you look at grounds like the Gabba, the MCG, very similar in dimensions, a little bit shorter straight, big square boundaries, so it gets New Zealand and all the 3 teams in this competition the opportunity to work out exactly where they need to be positioned to be successful on those sort of grounds.
Full and straight. Flicked off his toes for 4. Look at the timing there from Babar Azam. Just misses length by a touch, the Blair Tickner. And that is the quality and the class of the Pakistan captain.
He's gone for the Yorker, but it ends up being a freebie. It's a full toss on leg stump. And again, we talked about the quality of this man and how he places the ball when he gets a bad delivery. And he's done that again.
Margin for error is very small when you're up against a world-class player like Babar Azam. That is more Blair Tickner. Into the deck, hit it hard, looking to get the ball top of bail height. Good start by Pakistan.
The difference between the teams in terms of the seam bowlers is the pace. So you have New Zealand bowlers operating in around that 130 to 139. Blair Tickner at top end, Bolt the same. The difference for Pakistan, they're 140 plus, touching 150.
Nicely played. He's down to 3rd. End of the 4th over. Blair Tickner's first, 31 without loss. Good crowd in tonight to watch New Zealand in their first game in this Bangladesh Tri-Series here at Hagley Oval. Always turn out in good numbers here in Christchurch. Love their cricket. And we're hoping New Zealand can pick up some early wickets. Put Pakistan on the back foot. Oh, it's not far away. Nicely worked, though. Tim Southey's very good in terms of his variations and just mixing up his lengths. Short ball's still one of those deliveries, Bondi, that you don't see that often anymore in T20 cricket, but it's a real surprise delivery that I think is underused at times.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of using the short ball. If you bowl a well-directed bouncer, you can almost guarantee a dot ball. And so if you're a fast bowler, there's sometimes a tendency to say, well, if I use it early, the batsman knows the length's going to be full, so I won't use it. And then you get to the back of the over and you're too scared to use it because you don't want to get hit. So I think you've got to be proactive with it. I think you use it as a wicket-taking chance and you get it out there early.
It's interesting, no Mitchell Santon in this New Zealand lineup tonight. He's on paternity leave. He'll be back in the next couple of days, but he's the sort of bowler that could bowl in the front six, so you could change up the pace here. New Zealand don't have that option tonight. Just this, I guess Michael Bracewell is an option that could do that. You've got Ish Sodhi as well, who doesn't bowl in the first six, so there are options. It's in the air and put down. That's Glenn Phillips. And it's going to cost two, one of New Zealand's best fielders. And it's just gone through the hands. He can't believe it.
Well, you'd consider this to be an absolute goober, really, for a man of Glenn Phillips. So he had to run a little bit to his right, but the height was perfect. And he's very quick. And in the end, that's an absolute stinker.
Worst feeling in cricket. Wry smile from Southey. He can't believe it. Should have been taken. Bubba Azam's had a life. Flicked away. Defending a low total, you've got to take every half chance that comes your way. Talked about the fielding of the New Zealanders. This is a disappointing start.
Yes, the length Glenn Phillips talked about. You know, he made him hit it on top of the bounce, but Phillips there, I mean, he's an outstanding fielder. It's almost like he thought he had it before he caught it and dropped it.
Oh, it's not bad from Southey. It's not bad. It's out. New Zealand have their first. I think Rizwan's going to go upstairs because he thinks it's drifting. Up he goes.
Yeah,
TV umpire director, we have a player review for LBW. On-field decision is out. Check the front foot, fair delivery. We start with front arm, please. Thank you. Need to check hold reach next for an inside edge. Thank you. Hold reach coming through. Flat line, keep line through. All the way to the pad. Thank you. Satisfied, no bat involved. All tracking and ready. All tracking balance. Touching in line, impact in line. Wickets umpire's call. You'll be staying with your original decisions out.
Just clipping.
Signal now.
Just clipping, that's all New Zealand needed. Finger goes up, they get the big wicket of Mohammad Rizwan for 4. Tim Southey's done the job. And New Zealand have got their first at a crucial time. Rizwan goes for 4, 36 for 1. Shah Massoud comes in at number 3. Just early in the start of his T20 international career. 250s, good strike rate. Job to do now for Pakistan. Wire brushes are out because the turf is lush and sticking to the sprigs. Babar Azam's had some trouble over the last couple of games standing up. Tim Southey's done the job.
Tim Southey looks like he's coming around the wicket to start with. That'll be a reason because there's no swing. So he'll be looking to angle the ball back into the stumps to bring the LBW bowled into play. Tim Southey looks like he's coming around the wicket. Pretty regulation field, no slips. Because there's no swing. So he'll be looking to angle the ball back into the stumps to bring the LBW bowled into play. Tim Southey looks like he's coming
past the outside edge. It's a good over from Tim Southey. A successful one. Pakistan 36 for 1.
So far it's been even Stevens. Pakistan maybe a yard or two ahead because the run rate required is not out of hand. Pakistan maybe
edge. That's
a yard or two ahead because the run rate required is not out of hand. Pakistan maybe
edge.
That's a yard or two ahead because the run rate required is not out of hand. Pakistan
around the wicket. Edge. That's
carried
so nicely. Only 2 deliveries for Shah Massoud. Carried so nicely. First one he got beaten. This time around he got a nick on it. Went quickly to the wicketkeeper. Look where he grabbed that ball. Wow, that's serious pace. 37 for 2. Shah Massoud gone without scoring. That's serious pace. 37 for 2. Shah
his ball like that.
What a promotion for Shadab Khan. Normally bats at number 6 or 7, being asked to go at 4, and look how he started. He crushed it through that cover point. What a beautiful shot, and what a start.
Great day with the ball. Back it up with the bat. Just, you can see Tickler trying to drive the ball there. It's definitely coming on the bat better than it was in the first innings. Sliding off the surface. So I think New Zealand has no option but to try to attack here and use the extra pace. They need wickets. So edges. It's just a classic outside edge off a fast bowler. Really good line and length just outside off stump. So because of that, Tickner has a slip and a gully. So New Zealand attacking. They know they need wickets. Yeah, I don't think he needs to attack the stumps so much. I think to the new player, look to take the outside edge. That's where his field's set. So good length, hard into that surface on a good length, just outside off stump. Shadab Khan's good enough to crash him through cover point again. And good luck to him. Slips coming out now. So much for that plan. Anisha moves into mid-wicket, and everyone on the offside moves round a little. Slow ball. 6 gone, it's 44 for 2.
Shadab is very much capable of batting at any number. Even in the previous tours here in New Zealand, he has been promoted up the order. He likes taking challenges. Normally, if Dakhe Ahmed comes at this number. Good all-rounder. Shadab Khan. Jimmy Neesham comes into the attack. 49 games, 25 wickets. A very fine all-rounder.
That's the end of the power play. So fielding restrictions come off now. You have more players defending around the boundary. New Zealand is not pushing those players out just yet. Still keeping plenty in the circle. An extra person in there. So they've got five inside the inner circle. They can have 5 out of the inner circle now. They're just 4. Protecting the boundary. That's a good start from Neesham. Yeah, Kane Williamson knows that if he pushes that extra player back and Pakistan are just allowed to accumulate with an element of safety, they will canter home to a victory. He needs to keep attacking as much as he can.
Although there is a dew out there, the ball's getting a little damp, a little greasy, but every time the seam hits the surface, it does a little bit.
Chalayen kind of gives them the charge and just pick one to deep point. Sometimes the moisture, it will swell the seam, won't it? The little bit. Not the stitching, but where the two sides of the ball meet. Sometimes that will just swell a little bit.
Yeah, it becomes a little soggy. And it becomes very difficult to control. That's why modern day fast bowlers, they look to bowl cross seam. It's a little bit easier. But then you're not going to get anything out of surface sideways. Yes, it might just stops in the pitch at times. But if there is lots of dew, it does basically nothing. Then you have to rely on the length you bowl.
They do spray the outfield nowadays with a chemical that stops the dew forming as much as it can. Oh, that's annoying for Jimmy Neesham.
How well he played that shot. He allowed the ball to come really close to him and open the face of the bat very, very late. Jimmy Neesham, a decent pace, 132 kilometers an hour, watching the ball right on the blade. Great skill.
Yeah, I'll have to give him that one, to tell you the truth. I don't think he was planning on getting it so fine, but he was definitely looking to go down to third man.
Such an elegant player, Babar Azam. He's just searching for a little room, especially on the offside. He likes to favor offside. He likes to play that on the up, cover drives. There are fielders on the outside, the off stump, looking to block those boundaries.
Still straight, easy to pick off on the onside. 50 for 2.
That's 50 runs for the past around 0.5 in the event, but the young gentlemen really feel the last of the night. And it's like you told her to sort of score over. Don't be like the people like the division that's in it. Go grab some blackjack reverse. I'll get that.
Great illustration. You can just see that from about the halfway point in the innings for New Zealand, it just trended downwards too much until that very good over at 22, but that was really about it. And then they didn't finish the innings off at all well. Lost all their firepower. Tail was trying to take on the Pakistan fast bowlers, just could not do it.
Well, this is going to be a very important passage of the play. Ishodi comes into the attack, a genuine wicket taker, a very fine bowler, good economy rate, good average.
Down, misses it. It'll run away for 4. Disappointing start from Sodhi.
And good start of the over for Pakistan and Babar Azam, who's already on 40 of 23 deliveries. A quicker delivery, a flipper, but wrong length, wrong line. Not easy in this cold weather for right-arm leg spinners.
You see the ball just sliding on there too, keeping quite low. If you can find the right length here, so to maybe fractionally fuller than that. It's good revolution on the ball, but he's unlikely to turn it in these conditions. So wicket to wicket. It's something that the Pakistan bowlers did so well. They attacked the stumps, the slow bowlers. They gave New Zealand no width at all. He's had a go at him over the wicket, and he's had a really good go at him. He's had a massive go.
How good was the sound? That's Shadab Khan for you. He likes taking on the spinners He will put Isodi under pressure. From the front foot, putting his knee down and hitting it big. That's a massive hit.
That's a huge hit. These are big boundaries here in Hagley Oval. And that was effectively out of the ground.
I think that's gone on the road. Umpire asked for a new ball. That ball is not coming back.
Probably quite pleased with that, so to get the dry ball to bowl with. It's just too short at the moment. So the dry... Oh, no, no, no! That's not going to improve Sodi's mood at all. And it's Phillips again. He's already dropped a goober out there. And now he's just clean missed one along the ground.
I thought Pakistanis were a little ordinary at times in the field. Watch that. It was a straightforward one. Just ran over it. The ball spinning back and just beating him. That's poor. They laugh about it now. Deep down, he's not happy. Normally a very, very good fielder. Very expensive over. Pakistan was searching for an over like this. Run rate come down 6.74 now.
66 for 2. Just a telling over though, because Sodi's such an important bowler in this New Zealand side. And to go for 16 off his first, well, that's just going to give Kane Williamson a massive headache.
So far, Pakistan's been good. They've been good with the ball in hand and now batting really well. They've lost 2 wickets, but the run rate, they're keeping it up. You're always going to get that with Shadab. Whenever he misses the delivery, misses the shot, you will hear that grunt. It was there, just a little late on it, I feel, and maybe extra bounce.
Well, he's given himself some room, wasn't he? That's exactly the ball he was aiming for. I think that's why he's so upset with himself. Suddenly goes to the offside. Quite happy to just take one.
Shadab Khan will definitely play around with the bowlers. He will try to alter their lengths, try to confuse them by moving in the crease, moving away from the stumps. And he's got a license to do that.
Beautiful shot. There is a deep cover though. So this wicket's just starting to come on quite nicely here with the ball wet. Later on in the evening, both these players could just stand and play genuine cricket shots, time the ball, punch it into the outfield. This wicket should be
just in a prime state for just good quality batsmanship.
Yeah, it's a lot better to bat on now. The only thing as a batsman you got to be worried about at times is that extra bounce. The odd deliveries just kicks a little bit. Otherwise, wet ball off the surface is coming quite nicely. 9 fours and 1 6 so far in this Pakistan's inning.
Well, everyone's having trouble out there at the moment. It's a tidy over so far, just 5 from it. But overs like this, no issue for Pakistan. Steady as she goes at the moment in the run chase. 9 gone, 72 for 2. Here's the ICC T20 International Batter Rankings. Mohammad Rizwan, who's come and gone tonight, but you've got Babar Azam sitting at 3. You got to get them both out. That's the problem.
The last couple of years, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam, they've been a serious backbone of Pakistan's batting. Every time they score runs, Pakistan wins. But they fail, Pakistan struggles. That is the reason why they got so many runs. They take their time at the top, they play long, they play deep. Very, very fine play, both of them.
That's straight and hard and long. And all the way for 6 as well.
Well, Shadab is not going to let Sodhi settle. Previous over went for 16. This time, a little bit more flight outside the off stump. Shadab reaching for it, but he timed it beautifully. Nice and straight, gone all the way.
Yeah, just too much width there to free the arms. Get the hands through it. I think it's very much an instinctive shot, that. Shalab Khan, his eyes lit up. Sodhi's getting bashed out of the attack here.
Both these Pakistani batsmen, they're going at a good rate. Babar almost 160 strike rate. Shadab 200.
Well, when New Zealand got Masood out and they got 2 quick wickets, they would have been quite buoyed, but Shadab Khan just came out. Just whacking it all around the ground at the moment. If there was any pressure on Pakistan at that point, in 5 minutes, Shadab Khan put it all back onto New Zealand.
That's the reason he's such an important part of Pakistan team. You can really send him at any number, Shadab Khan. And he's an excellent bowler also. Good all-round cricketer.
It's too short. He gets away with it, Sodhi. So just one. And there's a lot of protection out on that onside. So that's 10 gone. And Pakistan, the moment, cruising somewhat at 83 for 2.
You ready?
Ready to win?
I hope you brought your A game.
It's the only game I have.
Ooh, then you're in trouble.
Nice. I could do this all day.
Come on, bring it. Woo!
Nailed it.
Yes! Rock, beat, scissors, baby!
Best out of 5.
The all-new Corolla Cross GR Sport.
Booyah!
Cross boundaries.
It's modern art. Serie A, live and in HD, only on Supersport on DSTV.
Hurry to Midas for these magical spring offers. Time for an oil change. Change to Midas Liquid Gold from only $2.15. Enhance your ride with an auto-gear seat cushion for a low $3.49. And get this Midas style jump starter for only $1,999. For the right part at the right place, there's just no place like Midas. For the love of cars.
Women think about safety all the time.
When your partner works the night shift, you never stop thinking about it. That's why we're with First for Women.
They have a dedicated fleet of guardian angels to keep women like me safe.
And women like me, calm.
So if your insurer doesn't keep you safe on the road 24/7. Hi, Stella.
Good evening, ma'am. Switch to First for Women. The only one that does.
Pakistan just requires 65 from 60. That should be comfortable, and at the moment it does look very comfortable. Pakistan playing beautifully. 83 for 2 at the halfway stage. Work for New Zealand bowlers to do. Pakistan, well, they lost the number 1 T20 batter in the world, Rizwan early. LBW Tim Southey for 4. Shah Masood didn't last long. Beauty from Blair Tickner. But it's been Babar Azam, the skipper, 48 from 31. Has done the job. 5 bowlers used for New Zealand. Sodhi's been expensive from his 2 overs. A wicket for Southey and Tickner. But they're struggling. 147 always looked under par from New Zealand after they won the toss and said we'll have a bat. Pakistan have been in control, and performance tonight has been a lift from last night against Bangladesh. They've taken it up another level. They've been most impressive. Chalayen Mushtaq, the head coach of Pakistan, out there talking to his captain, his 2 batters, making sure they get the job done. Katie Martin, a lot of work for New Zealand to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. I feel like Pakistan have been in control for all of this match, bar that 1 over that Chapman took to the spinners, but it's very, very impressive batting. We haven't seen any of the part-time bowlers we talked about in the pre-show. No Chapman as of yet with the spin. Wonder when Bracewell will get a go, whether Glenn Phillips will have a go as well. Is it an opportunity now to see what those guys have got leading into this World Cup?
Michael Bracewell's got the ball in hand. 9 wickets. Pretty good average. Pretty good economy rate. He's made an excellent start, hasn't he, to his T20 international bowling career. Got a job to do. He needs to break this partnership. 46 from 28 between Shadab Khan and Babar Azam. He's looked in total control, has his arm. Elegant player to watch. He's got plenty of time. Never looks rushed.
That drop early on in 29 has been costly for New Zealand. They picked up 2 quick wickets and wanted to get into this middle order.
Exposed the stumps here to Khan, but plays it nicely out to the point sweeper. Yeah, well, one of the strengths of this New Zealand team over a number of years has been its fielding, and one of its best fielders has been Glenn Phillips, and he won't look at that replay with any kindness. It's one of those catches that you expect to take. It sort of sums up New Zealand's effort with the bat, and also in the field they haven't been at their best. 50 for Bubba Azam. It's been a captain's knock. It's come at a crucial time. It's been played with elegance, and it's his 28th time past 50 in T20 international cricket.
It's a strike rate for me as well. He's batted with control. He's been proactive against these New Zealand bowlers. Very, very good in a chase.
It's been an important innings too from Shadab Khan. This is the highest he's batted in an international T20 cricket. Almost throwing up the top of the order as a bit of a floater. Someone to take the bowlers on. If you come off, you make winning the game a lot easier. He's done a terrific job. And now he's put together a 50-run partnership with his captain. That's pulled away as he found the gap. Chapman's back there. And you can see by the sliding of the New Zealand fielders that there is a fair amount of dew on the grass at the moment, which sort of makes the decision for New Zealand to bat first after winning the toss even a little bit more strange.
It's also typically really hard ground to defend. It's a big ground, usually not much in the wicket.
Michael Bracewell's first over, 89 for 2.
If anything, it catches pace. It gets quicker, it gets easier to bat because of that dew on the wicket, the little bit of sheen. First stop ball. A long time for New Zealand. They need plenty more of those. Khan, batting 8 yesterday, didn't even get a bat. Talked about their strike rate in the middle order. And Khan's really shown some good impetus through there. Talked yesterday with Waka, would they change the batting order? Would they stick with the normal status quo? I'm not a double grip kind of person, Macca. Just feels like it's just thick in the handle. Martin Guptill, actually, he has 2 grips. Kane Williamson, he likes a nice thin one. Feels like the bat's a wand in his hand.
I remember seeing one of Chris Gale's bats. He had 8 grips on. Big hands.